It means that they come hardwired with technology. Is in their wiring. That's why you find that if you give this child a phone now, you'll be surprised what they will do with the phone because they are just babies. You will think that, oh, they don't know. They know where to go just by wiring. It's not, you don't need to teach them. Do you understand? Those are the kind of people they are. And that has implications for you as a teacher. What are the implications? Number one, the people you are teaching have access to information. They can always confirm what you are telling them at the click of a button. So a child can challenge you in class and say, Ma, you are wrong. This thing you just said is not correct. Right? And you will take it, except you are insecure. So you have to bring yourself to that point where you are always ahead. Because if you are not ahead, if you provide any wrong information, the child will confront you and say, Sir, you are wrong. And when they say, Sir, you are wrong, you better say, Oh, really? Wow, thank you. Please tell me more. You cannot say, shut up. Who are you? Who are you talking to? Who are you to correct me? In fact, you miss it completely. Right? So they are digital natives, and they also have need for active experiential learning. They're not like our generation that you can sit us down in class and be telling us how medulla oblongata, kineko, we cannot even picture what you're saying. We'll just sit down there and be listening. These ones, they need the experience to relate to their everyday life. So you have to be able to explain that medulla oblongata in a way that they will understand it, in a way that they can relate with it. So they need active experiential learning. Also, they prefer collaboration. They prefer to collaborate. They are not the type that you hand them things. You just give them, they prefer for you to involve them in what you're doing. Involve them in the learning. Involve them in the content creation. Give them tasks that rattle their brain. Right? Even as children. I know that what I'm saying now may be sounding, but we teach in a school, there's already a curriculum. Yes, there's a curriculum. But in delivering that curriculum is where your personality comes in. Is where your genius comes in as a teacher. Do you understand? Because you will find that the same curriculum is being delivered differently by this person and by this person. And with the knowledge you're getting, if you already know that, I need to get the children involved, I need to get them more involved than telling them things, then you may find that there's a little bit of a difference between your children and the children of the other teacher. Just by that little change you have made in your teaching style. Okay? Right. So teachers must evolve, like I said before. The implication of this for you, the implication of the changes that have happened in the students is that the teacher must also evolve. The teacher must also be changing. You cannot be applying the same old style that you've been doing since 5 years, since 10 years. No, you have to evolve with the changing tides, right? Okay. So, defining the 21st century teacher. So, when we say someone is a 21st century compliant teacher, what are we talking about? What are we looking for in that teacher? Number one is that you're more than just a subject expert. Well, in this case now, I'm even dealing with people who are teaching everything. So, but you're not just a teacher. You are a coach. You are a mentor to those children. You are a guide. You're a counselor. You are a lot of things packaged in one, right? And you are putting all those things in the lives of these children you're doing it intentionally. You're not just there to earn a living, right? You're not just there to show up so that they can pay your salary. You are remembering that these are lives. You are looking at this child and you're saying, in 10 years, in 15 years, I still want what I'm putting into this child today to reflect in her life. By the time this child is 25, I want her to be shaped by the things I'm doing with her today. That's intentionality, right? That's intentionality. So you are a guide, you're a coach, you're a facilitator. You are a global thinker. So you're not just based, you are in Nigeria, you're in Lagos, but you know that these children, you're not preparing them for just Lagos and Nigeria. You're preparing them for the world, especially now that the world is in your hand. With your phone, you are in the world. You're not just in Nigeria. With your phone now, you can be in US. You can be in UK. You can be in Dubai. You can be anywhere in your phone. The same thing for them. So you're not preparing them just for Lagos, Nigeria. You're preparing them to compete globally. And that means that you yourself have to be a global thinker. You need to know what's going on in the world. You need to know what's going on globally and be able to discuss it and be able to bring home the implications to the children you're dealing with and educate them and prepare them. Okay? You are also a tech integrator, right? You are guiding them on how to apply technology to the things they are doing, meaning that you yourself have to be comfortable with technology, because that's usually the challenge. A lot of us older teachers, we struggle when it comes to technology. We find it very overwhelming, we find it tedious. No, you have to tell yourself that, hey, we are here now and there's no going back, right? Okay, so teachers must be designers of learning experiences. Now, there has been a shift in education, major shift. So from content delivery to active engagement. So before now, like we were saying before, you sit down and write your lesson notes and that's it. You just come, you deliver the lesson note and that's it. Your job is done. Now it is active engagement. That your lesson note is just a guide. Just a guide for discussions to happen in class. Right? That's the only way your children will enjoy you. If you come and just hand them in what you have in your lesson note, they will sleep off on you because they are very active. So you must engage them. So because that's where education has shifted to now. It has shifted from a one size fits all to personalized learning. So now we are more conscious than at any other time that we have people that learn in different ways. We have the ones that learn by hearing, the ones that prefer to see it, the ones that prefer to do it, before they can say they have learned it. So there's no longer, you must sit down and be quiet. Now you know that some people have to do something before they can learn that thing they are doing. So from one size fits all, we're going to personalized learning. We're also moving from paper-based to digital and hybrid. From paper-based work, we're going to digital. A lot of schools now, children use computer. For the ones that are not doing that already, they are going there. They are planning to go there. They are moving because that's where the world is going. The shifts that have happened in the education sector that we all have to be aware of and prepare ourselves to utilize them. And I don't want you to be thinking as I'm talking that, oh, well, these things you are saying now, we're not doing it in my school. So, but you're not going to be in that school forever, except you're the owner of the school. And even if you're the owner of the school, you're not going to run it the way you're running it now forever. Right? Good. So it's better to be prepared for what is coming because it's definitely coming. So now let's look at characteristics of the 21st century teacher. Characteristics of the 21st century teacher. Number one is you are collaborative and you are networked. So now, more than ever, you need other people. You need other teachers. You need colleagues, not just from your school. So when you go to events, especially teachers' events, you're not just focusing on yourself and your team that you came with, or focusing on the food that is served there. You are networking because you need to, share ideas with people from other places. You need to collaborate with them. You need to know what they are doing, and you need their network to be able to keep developing yourself. Number two, you are adaptive and you are flexible. So it's not like the way we used to do it, we must continue to do it like that. You are conscious of the fact that the world around you is changing every day and you are prepared to change with it. So whatever is thrown at you, you're not resistant to change. You are flexible, you are receptive to change so that you can take advantage of those changes to improve yourself and your teaching. You are innovative and creative. So you're always looking for better ways to do whatever it is that you're doing. So the 21st century teacher is the idea person. She's the one that is always making suggestions for how we can change things and make them better. not the one that is there resisting and say, ah, no, this is not how we used to do it. This is not how we used to do it. I tell people that the only person that should have it in his CV as was yesterday, today, and ever shall be is God. God is the only one that should have that attribute because God is changing. But everybody else must be changing because the world we live in is a dynamic world. It keeps changing. So if you do not change with the changing tides, then you get relegated to the background and you become irrelevant. So, number 4, you are culturally responsive. You understand that everybody is not the same. Everybody is not Igbo. Everybody is not Yoruba. Everybody is not Hausa. Everybody is not in Nigeria. Right? And that means that we are coming with different perspectives and views to life. We are coming with different world views. And you want to incorporate that into your teaching. You also want to create an environment in your teaching where everybody feels welcome. So, for example, something as simple as you are the kind of teacher that from time to time you use your language to say something. Maybe we're in the Yoruba land. So from time to time you speak Yoruba in class and you don't interpret. You're not being culturally responsive. You're not being culturally sensitive. Because you know that all the children there may even be Yoruba, but do they all understand Yoruba? There are a lot of Yoruba children that don't understand Yoruba. A lot of Igbo children that don't understand Igbo. My own children, I'm just teaching them Igbo now. They're teenagers already. Because I already made the mistake when they were growing up, thinking that, oh, let them learn English. I didn't know that they can learn even 5 languages. So if you're now speaking a language they don't understand, you're not including them in that conversation. That's what it means. Because they don't know what you're talking about. I just use the most basic of examples. There are so many other things that we can do to ensure that everybody is included in what we are doing. Right? And then maybe you have a child in your class that is handicapped. You know, you have a child that uses a wheelchair or something, and you people are going somewhere and there's step. That's already excluded that child. If there's no ramp for where the child can climb, you have to carry them. They don't like it. You're drumming it into their head that they're handicapped. So there must be that place where they can by themselves ramp up and join you in that meeting. If there's no such provision, then they are excluded already. You know, and the 21st century teacher is the one who is discovering these things and talking about them. Because an everyday person may not think about it. Right? So now maybe you don't even have a handicapped child yet in your school. But if each of your buildings don't have ramps, your place is not 21st century compliant. And you must talk about it. You must say, oh, I just noticed. Just in case if we get a child there, or even a teacher, the place has to be inclusive, right? Now, you are globally oriented. A 21st century teacher is globally oriented. You think, you act locally, but you think globally. You are in Lagos, Nigeria, but you are in touch with the world. You are in touch with teaching styles. You are in touch with teaching aids. You are in touch with everything that is happening in your industry. You are abreast. Okay? Number 6, you are inclusive and empathetic. You put yourself in the shoes of those children that you're dealing with. So, you are an adult, so you can talk to them anyhow. You can use any word you like and all of that. No. Because you know that they will not retaliate. They will not, if you say you are stupid, they cannot tell you that, you too, you are stupid. So, but the 21st century teacher is mindful of all of that and mindful to treat these children respectfully. Knowing that the same way you deserve respect is the same way they deserve respect, even though they are children. So you put yourself in their shoes. You know about a child in your class that just lost a parent, or something just happened in their, or the parents are having marital issues. You are empathetic to know that for you as an adult, you need to become a child. You need to put yourself in that child's shoes. If you just left home and your parents were fighting, will you come to class and be attentive? Will you come to class and be the best student? So being empathetic helps you to be in their world and be able to find out how you can help them to learn better. rather than condemning and saying, you this child, you're never paying attention. If a child is not paying attention, have you bothered to ask, to have a one-on-one with the child to say, you're not paying attention, what is the problem? And let that child even tell you what the issues are. Some children don't get enough attention at home. So in class, they're everywhere because they need attention. In fact, when they are saying, hey, Lagbaja, they are enjoying it. Because for once, somebody is even noticing them and calling their name. But you don't know. You are charging and looking for cane and looking for punishment. You need to be empathetic. And remember that one of the ways to be effective with them is to be in their world. Right? Number 7, the 21st century teacher is an environmental advocate. Yeah, an environmental advocate. So you are also, whatever you are teaching, you're also reminding your children to care for their environment. You know, don't use your bottle and throw it away. Drop it somewhere so that it can be recycled. Don't do things that affect the environment. Don't use nylons and just drop it on the floor. Care for your environment. You teach them to be tidy. It starts from there, right? Put things in the right place. You teach them to care for their environment, even though it's not your beat. You're not even their class teacher. You're a biology teacher or whatever. But that period that you are there, that time that you're spending with them, make it count. Make it count for everything possible at that time, right? Then lastly, the 21st century teacher is AI literate. Now, we're not even talking computer literacy or internet literacy. Now, we're talking AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Using it to do things. There's no running away from it. Tell yourself that, look, this thing has come. There's no running away. What you need to do is to get someone to guide you. There's always someone to guide you, right? And tell yourself that it's not difficult. That if anything, it's going to make your work easier. It's going to make your work better. Okay? So, number 1 is you are collaborative and networked. So you collaborate with other people and you network. You're not let me be on my own. You need other people. You need to know what's going on in other schools, right? Yeah, because you can always bring ideas back to your own school, right? Good. Number 6, I said inclusive and empathetic. So you are in your children's world. You are in their world, okay? And you have a space for every child. No matter the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know how to deal with each of them and get the results that you want, right? So these are the things we will see in anybody, and we will say, oh, this teacher is a 21st century teacher, right? I don't know whether we won't have the space to write everything. Collaborate and networked, adaptive and flexible, innovative and creative, culturally responsive, globally oriented, inclusive and empathetic, effective, environmental advocate. Then AI literate. Okay, so so these are the things you will see. But how do you become this person? How do you become this person? So let's talk about the essential skills that you must get to be able to reflect these characters. Okay? So essential skills for the 21st century teacher. Essential skills. Okay. Number one is digital literacy. Just like we talked about AI literacy here. Digital literacy. So let's even start with computer. How many of us here are computer literate? You can use a computer very well. Only her? You can use a computer not very well. Okay. You? Not very well. Mama? Not at all. Not at all. Okay. You? Computer? But you have a smartphone. You use a smartphone and you can use your phone. And you can use your phone keyboard. So it's almost the same thing, right? The same way you power your phone is the same way you power your computer. When you power your computer, there's a button where you go to. So, I mean, I'm just saying that, look, it's not rocket science. Mama, you use a smartphone? Okay, she doesn't use a smartphone. Okay. So digital literacy is a must-have in the world we're living in now. And it's not difficult. You just need to get someone to teach you. And it doesn't have to be a proper school, like a computer school. I'm sure that everybody here in your circle of friends, somebody has a computer. Somebody you relate with, somebody you are friends with, somebody you talk with has a computer. And if you spend 1 hour a week with a person and you say, please put me through on how to use this, within a short time, you will know all the things you need to know, at least the basics, right? You will know the basics that you need to know. So, because from there, I mean, the basics is being able to use a computer, then you now talk about being able to use the internet, right? From being able to use the internet, then you talk about being able to use AI. Okay, so when you're able to use the computer and internet, then you are able to talk about digitizing the things you do, right? Talk about your teaching aids, you know, using digital teaching aids instead of physical ones, you know, digitizing your teaching, your notes, putting them online, putting them on in soft copy, putting them in the computer. So when we are saying this digital is computer, right? If you want to digitize, this thing now is digitized because it's here. If it was physical, I would have printed it and be carrying it like this, right? So don't let it confuse you. It's simple. It's simple. It's just knowing, being able to move around the computer, being able to use the internet to move around the world, being able to put the things you are doing on the computer and on the internet so that more people have access to it. So you must be digitally literate. Then critical thinking. You must be able to carefully break down a problem or a situation, break it down, break it down, break it down. Okay? Break it down. Why did the chicken cross the road? I'm sure you hear people say that. So break it down. Break it down. So did the chicken cross the road? Did he actually cross the road? How did he cross the road? Who was there? How do we know that he crossed the road? Okay, so what could be the motivation for the chicken to cross the road? Was there something across the road that the chicken could eat? You know, break it down, break down the problem. So when people bring things to you, the children you are teaching, other teachers, be able to sit down and walk through the situation, break it down into simpler components, and then think through each component and be able to bring them back again to make a decision. That's critical thinking. So you don't just say, should I go or should I not? Tomato from West Calabar, let me go. A teacher shouldn't make decisions like that. It will be that, okay, what's the benefit of going? What's the disadvantage of not going? What's the cost of going? What's the cost of not going? If we don't go, what will happen? If we go, what are the risks? So you weigh all of that and then you bring it back to make the best decision. That's critical thinking, right? And every teacher must have that skill. If you're going to work towards being here as a 21st century teacher, Collaboration. These are essential skills you must get. So, before we talk about, before it looks as if teaching is a one-man show. Just do your lesson notes and go and deliver it and all of that. But now, we're being taught that, oh, collaborate with other people. Collaborating means working together with other people. Why? Because now, more than ever, there's so much going on that your idea alone may not deliver the goals that you want to achieve, right? So you need other people's ideas to broaden your horizon, to make sure to help you make better decisions. Creativity. I'm sure you are seeing all of the things we're talking about here. You're seeing them here. These are the skills you must get to become this person. Remember, we said a 21st century teacher is innovative and creative. You must get creativity as a skill. How do you get creativity? You can get it through any different means. Some people get it by meditating, they get ideas. Some people get it by going to look at nature. You just come out in the morning or in the evening or wherever, and you're just looking at nature. You're looking at things. You're allowing your mind to roam, right? Some people get it by surfing the internet. You're looking at Instagram, you're looking at whatever, So you see, there's a place where we'll talk about, the fact that technology is a tool, but it can also become something else in your hand. It depends on how you use it. Technology in itself is not good or bad. It's just a tool. So what you use it to do is what determines whether it's good or bad for you. Some people surf the Instagram and Facebook, and when they finish, they are depressed. Because they are there looking for what is not lost. They are looking for who is peppering them and who is oppressing them and all of that. That's what you are looking for. That's why you found it. When you finish, you now come and be crying. But somebody else may look at it and get inspired by what other people have done. There are tech groups and teachers groups online that you can join, and join conversations that happen, real-time conversations that happen. And you can ask questions about things that are a problem for you in your own job. And you're getting ideas from people, other people. They're opening your mind to things, possibilities and ideas that you never even thought about. Right? So that collaboration is key, and creativity is even helped by collaboration. Yeah. Collaboration also fuels your creativity because you get ideas from other people. Cultural competence. What is cultural competence? We talked about it the other time in terms of cultural sensitivity or responsiveness. Cultural competence means that you are adept in dealing with people from other cultures. So in your head, you don't think that you're the only one in this world, or your tribe is the only one that exists. So when you are around other people, you are careful to observe how they behave, to observe the differences between you and them, and to treat them in a way that makes them feel respected, rather than imposing your own on them. Do you understand? Yeah. So then this also is a skill: social emotional learning. Social emotional learning has to do with teaching children life skills. And I know they have programs in schools that teach this, right? They have programs in school that teach self, like your civic education, things that teach children to be responsible citizens, teach them life skills, teach them to be empathetic, to be kind, to be loving, to listen to other people, to be good team players and all of that. Yeah, there are programs like that are built into the school curriculum, right? So what we're saying is that you as a teacher also need to be skilled in this. Whether you are teaching children in primary school or secondary school or whatever, on your own, you need to read about this and understand it properly and know how you can contribute to the lives of the children you are teaching in this area. Okay? So because each of these things impact the success of the children you are teaching. All these skills impact the success of the children you are dealing with per time. Okay? Now, the use of technology. Okay, use of technology. I can clean the upper one, Abby. Use of technology. We have touched on it a lot in our discussion so far. Use of technology in teaching. So let me hear your experiences. Is anybody using technology already? Is anybody adapting technology into what they are into their teaching? Anybody here? They are incorporating technology already. Okay, tell us about it. You can sit down. Just talk. Did you understand my question? I was asking that, I said, we want to talk about use of technology in teaching. And I said, so far, that we have mentioned it a lot in our conversation so far, right? And I now said, is anybody here already incorporating technology in their teaching? Okay, what do you use it to do? Okay, to browse it, to use generative AI to look for content on it. Okay, very good. Okay, okay, beautiful. You, sir, are you all in the same school? All of you? Oh, wow, this school is blessed, oh, because I know that when you go back now, they'll be hearing gist. All right, yes. Transformation, because it means that you are giving assignments through Google, and you are also grading them through Google. So the children are also doing it through Google, right? So they go to, you can put it in a form of Google Docs, and they go there. There's a platform where everybody logs in to see the assignment. They do it there, you grade it there. So it just makes it easier. It just removes the paper, right? And moves it online, and makes it easier for everybody, because from wherever they are, they can do those works, right? And then the benefit of incorporating technology to that level is that it makes access easier. If a teacher is not in school on a particular day, it doesn't stop them from doing their work. If a child is not in school on a particular day, it doesn't stop them from doing their work, right? And then you are also able to give real-time feedback, so people can log in at the same time. It's particularly helpful when children are, maybe they went on holiday, and so for some reason they couldn't come back when they are supposed to come back. They may even be in the US or UK, and they are in class, right? Okay, so like we said, it is a tool, not a replacement for pedagogy. Pedagogy is the science and art of teaching, of how learning happens. So your technology does not take the place of teaching, right? It just aids it. Because even without Google Classroom, somebody still has to direct the class. Somebody still has to facilitate the class, right? So they are just tools, okay? And yes, I was going to tell you a story that a teacher told me how she started to use this Google Classroom. She started to use it to connect with another school in China. So she would, from her smartphone, she would connect with the class in China. So it's like an exchange, a sort of exchange program. The children in China will see her children will see them, they will interact. What do you think that would do to the psyche of those children and their exposure? It will just take it to another level, because they're in Nigeria, but they've been to China. They've dealt with Chinese children. They can say things about Chinese children. They can discuss it. They can discuss, oh, Chinese pupils are like this, or they do this, or they do that, or they like this and they like that. And that's exposure already. That's exposure. And you know that, one of the key things for developing people in life, in life generally, is travel. Travel is very important for development, because the things that, if they sit you down here for 1 week and they are telling you, you won't get it. Just going to America once. In fact, even if you don't even enter, just reach the airport and come back, you're okay. You will learn some things that you cannot learn in 1 month just by talking, right? So people are doing things, and that's why that collaboration that we talked about is important, Because if you don't collaborate, you wouldn't know what other teachers are doing. Imagine that this teacher I mentioned now is in your space, is in your network, and you're like, how are you doing it? She will just put you through. It's from her smartphone. And before you know it, you two are doing it, this one is doing it, this one is doing it. Before you know, you revolutionize teaching, right? And the whole thing catches on. All right. So building global intelligence. So we talked about the skills, right? These are also part of what one needs to learn, or one needs to get or be aware of, towards exhibiting all the characteristics of the 21st century teacher. So we talked about using technology in teaching, then building global competence. Remember that what we're talking about borders on performance. There are teachers and there are teachers. You don't want to be in the former. You want to be the teacher that is the teacher that is higher than the teacher, right? There are teachers and there are teachers. You want to be the teacher that is higher than the teacher. And these are the things that stand you out. These are the things that stand you out. Okay, so that you are not just a teacher, you are the teacher, right? So awareness of global issues, cultural responsive teaching, cultural differences, digital global exchanges, like what I just mentioned, right? E-powers of virtual international classroom projects. So these are ways to stay global as a teacher. Personalized and differentiated learning. So this one, I will just say, we don't have space again. I'll just say, be mindful of the learning styles, different learning styles. So apply VAC in your content, in generating your content, or in your delivery, apply VAC in recognizing the different learning styles. So what is V? V is the people that learn by seeing, visual. There are children that, no matter if you talk from now till tomorrow, if they have not seen that thing, they have not learned it, they don't know it. So that's why you have your teaching aids that have drawn the thing so that they can see it. You're using your phone to show them so that they can see it. So what about the A's? The A's are the auditory, the people who must hear it. Those ones, you have to play video for them. They have to hear it before they feel like they have learned it. Okay? What about the R? The people who will read and write it. They are the read and write people. So practicals work for them. And the last group, which is the kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic. The kinesthetic learners are the ones who must practice that thing with their hands. Okay? They must do it practically before they can feel like they have learned it. So accommodate all learning styles. Use quizzes, use debates, use practical sharing in class, contributions, projects, and all of that. Okay, so we've also talked about collaboration and peer learning from other people, group projects, peer feedback. So encourage that. Encourage sometimes breakouts in your class. They sit in groups and they talk. They discuss problems. They discuss activities that you've given them to do, right? And from time to time, you can reshuffle the group again. It helps collaboration. It also helps bonding, and it helps building relationships in class. Professional growth. So now we're talking about how do you keep developing yourself as a teacher, which is very important, because like we said here, a teacher who stops learning stops teaching. If you stop learning, they say you start dying, isn't it? So if you stop learning, you should actually Stop teaching because you don't have anything to give anybody anymore. So you must keep developing yourself. And the internet is great for that development. Because as I'm saying, develop yourself now, somebody may be thinking, I don't have money to do courses, I don't have money to attend anything. But you have your smartphone. And we have platforms that we call MOOC platforms. Do you know about MOOC? Do you know about MOOC platforms? MOOC platforms are great for personal development. Professional. Sorry? Somebody saying something? You know why they are great? Because they offer programs across all fields. All all fields. And you know another great thing about it, most of them are free. Most of them are free. Okay? Yeah. And Coursera is one of them. Udemy is one of them. There are several. If you go online, you will find them. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to pay shishi. Just log in. There's edX too. Just log in and create an account and say, I want to learn data science. You'll see it. You teach yourself. It's self-paced. You learn at your own pace. Right? So there's Coursera, there's Udemy. There's edX. They are all there. Okay? Then you can also join teacher communities, like I mentioned before, online. Like on Twitter, there's what they call Twitter. Do you get? And before you know it, you're helping each other little by little, little by little, little by little, and you will move forward. And then share the wins. Oh, I've done this one, and they hail you. Oh, I found another one, and they hail you, and they join. Celebrate each other. No envy, no jealousy, because they say the sky is too wide for any two wise birds to clash. So the more good teachers we have, the better for us. There's nothing like, oh, you are better than me. You are better in something. I'm also better in another thing. So there's no space for jealousy and envy. So we can help each other to grow, and we grow together. Right? So the limited access, of course, I mean, the world we live in, things are limited. So sometimes, like I said now, the platforms I shared, most of their courses are free, but some are not free. The ones that are free, if you now want a certificate, you have to pay. They can give you the knowledge, but when you want a certificate, they will ask you to pay. But it's usually not a large sum of money like that, right? So then, limited access in the sense that your school they haven't implemented any form of digital transformation, so you are limited. You can only use your smartphones for now. But hey, there's still a lot that you can do with your smartphone. Right? In life, you need to learn to leave the things you don't have control over and focus on the ones you can control. Because if you control all the things you can control, you are good. You are good, because experts have told us that it's only 10% of things that you don't have control over. You have control over 90%. And we know that in you teachers, now 90 over 100 is already an A. So that means that if you control all the things you can control, you're good. Forget about the ones you can't control. Okay? And then don't be resistant to change. That one is a killer in the world right now, because adaptability is the name of the game. We have to be flexible, like fluid, right? So if you notice that you are the type that naturally you're resistant to change, you have to start talking to yourself about that. I keep telling you every morning when you wake up, tell yourself that, look, Amara, you cannot resist change. You have to change. The world is changing. The world around you is changing every day. You have to become comfortable with change. Because the only constant thing is what? Change. Right? So with a lot of self-talk and accountability, you can also overcome this third challenge. And remember that I said the strategy is to start small, get peer support, accountability, right? And then share your wins. Okay? Don't keep it to yourself, share it.